Shalom, shalom. My glasses is going straight into but I'm going to need them. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely day, a rainy one that the Most High Yah has made. But I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. Just going to come with a little something. And I hope that it'll start off your day and go into your Sabbath, blessing you. I will say that I was early this morning, got out to do a few errands, and I run a few errands, and I was in the rain. Okay, it was raining, but the Most High came to me in a very quiet, spoken voice, and he began to tell me about Genesis. You know, I always tell y'all the book of Genesis is where I am always chastised. Okay. Anything go down, come on here. Let me take you here. It is always the book of Genesis. So I do know the power of Genesis and the book of Genesis, the chapter, all the chapters in Genesis, and how it is a power punch to your spirit man as well as to your flesh. In this book, he was dealing with me this morning regarding how if you lose the beginning, you have lost the middle and the end. And I have already stated that several times because that is something I felt within myself. That's why I always shared with you all that Genesis was a place where I was chastised by the Most High Yah. But when he was going on and telling me, Deborah, if they lost the beginning, or they lose the beginning, they have already lost the middle and the end. That means, you know how I would say the Most High Yah is, was, and shall be. If you didn't know that he was, then you don't know that he is and what he shall be. That's lining up with what the Spirit was showing me this morning. So I go back to myself and I start to measure the fact that you have chastised me, Father, in Genesis for many a years. This is where I get my chastising, is in Genesis, because it's almost like, look, did you forget something, or have you not read from the beginning? So that's how he deals with me, and I love it. And I will not tell you all that the middle and the ending don't have what it takes to fulfill the overall. But if you miss the beginning, you have missed the middle, and you will not find the end. And that's what makes it more comforting for me as a prophetess, being in the wilderness, called for this appointed time and season to speak to a stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient people, even worser than the forefathers. And as I was listening to him, he was saying that he began to share some things with me. He began to tell me about what was going on in the beginning when he created and said, let us make man. See, people don't understand us is Yah and all power. That's what it is. Us is Yah and all his power therein. It's like you, me, and everybody else. We talk to ourselves sometimes. Matter of fact, not sometimes, a lot. Oh, let me go over here and do this. Oh, I'm going to go over there. You know why? Because you speaking it and your body is performing it. Your mind is causing your body to bring it to forth. When the Most High was dealing with me in Genesis this morning in the rain, and he was saying, if they miss the beginning, they have missed the middle and the end. Now, why must he come tell me that? It's because somebody on this platform that tuned in to Sister Deborah is waiting for this message. It's waiting for this power punch right here. So he began to say that in the beginning, when he spoke everything into existence, it had a purpose that 99.9 have missed. How do you know they missed it, Deborah? It's because they're going on their way in their own self-understanding, in their own self-flesh, no wisdom and knowledge that connects them to the understanding that all the things that is, was, and all the things that have been has already, it is finished in Yah. That's why he can say on the 7th day, on the 6th, it was finished, and on the 7th were to rest, because it was finished in him. And that's how he wants us as the spiritual walkers to walk therein. So when you heard Sister Deborah saying, I, Sister Deborah, is a beautiful day that the Most High has made, and I shall rest therein, because I now can rest in my spirit with assurance that all is finished and all right with Yah. So I can rest now. I don't have to wait till I get into the New Jerusalem. See, that flesh not going to rest, but my spirit is willing to stand in faith, in endurance, being branded for his name's sake, walking spirit and truth, seeking him day and night, night and day, not giving up, not turning away, not forsaking what the mouth of men are drilling into the minds of the people. But the minds of the people is already destroyed, because they don't even know the 666, as they have been manipulated and deceived to believe. It is already embedded into their minds. See, it was a mind control. And that's how the people are today. So deeply into it, to the point where you hear Hebrew Israelites booming up today saying the coronavirus is Yah's plagues. Go back to the biblical and see every plague that the Most High have said that he gave or he poured out to Pharaoh. He gave it to speak it out of Moses' mouth and Aaron, and then it shall be. So all these plagues plagues that the world has kindled, you cannot line them up as the plague of Yah. And what do Sister Deborah see? The large numbers or groups like GOCC. Big names. Now, I ain't going to say they big names, but all of them, they thinking this is Yah punishment. Why? Because it hadn't hit their home yet. It hasn't come to their home, so they figuring, oh, it's the plague of Yah, because it ain't hit my home, and I'm all that and some. See, what they don't understand is there's a difference from Yah's plagues and his order, and when he bring that plague, he's going to give it to his prophet, his prophetess, of a warning first. And I, Sister Deborah, sit here and tell you there are many of plagues that's out here that is of the Most High Yah, even to today. But the coronavirus is a plague of man. Okay, let me get back to what he was saying in Genesis. In Genesis, he was talking about when he created everything, the reason why he spoke it and all power brought it forth as if it was present, because he wanted no hand, no mouth, no nothing out of man. So man won't come and say, oh, I did this, or I planted this, or I did this, and I did this. He left you out of it because he knows your heart is not right, nor is your mind. He knew that before the foundation of the world. So he spoke it into existence, and then there it became. Okay? So therefore, we are in this day and time speaking a whole bunch of deceiving messages to the people. And the people are already stamped with the 666 to the point where anybody can manipulate them. Because I was dealing with that. I guess that's another reason why he came to me this morning. is to let me know, Deborah, this stuff need be. And he began to tell me, and he just came to me out of nowhere. And he came to tell me, he was telling me about in the beginning when I said, them, man has took on me. And nobody says a word. Everybody run and clam on them. And they don't even understand. It was in heavens before it was on earth. It was in the life of Yah before it was Adam was even created. So, in the life of Yah, he had them. So, when he said them, he and her. So, all this stuff that they're teaching you all is very deceiving and is a lie from the pit of hell. Even a lot of, I hear a lot of my strong, powerful, speaking men that knows how to lead, and they bold. They don't laugh with you. They don't play with you. They tell truth and spirit. They are now coming out saying, honestly, that everything you read in this book, you can't take it for full value. You know why? They are saying now how many males' hand has been in this. Not females, but males' hands has been all up in here. But when you come down to the Most High that comes to me in the morning, and he tells me about what he spoke. He's saying, Deborah, their hands can't be in this. Hallelujah. And as you read Genesis, you hear Yah said, Yah said, Yah said, Yah said, Yah said. That's all the Most High wants y'all to understand. Get into this book and hear what he said. Who said, I am he? They said it this. They said it that. Who? I am he. They spoke this. They spoke that. I am he. They created this. They created that. And stop trying to grip everything every man on the earth and was before their messages over the Most High Yah. And that's why we have so many different denominations and so many lost souls. That's why in our nation, the hell was enlarging just for us. And we sitting here talking about the heathens. It was enlarged for us because he knew that even though I've given them all that I have, yet they are stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient and will not turn. But he knows the heart of those who still have been in that way, but still have that heart, that seed that he planted in them. Oh, they're going to make it today. They're going to make it right. He going to make it right in them. But this here, like I told you in another video, this here awakening is a religion. This here Hebrew Israelite movement is an early religion that captured people's mind and not their spirit. And that's all people are all geared to. That's why the world was able to stamp people with the 666 without them even knowing it, which is the mark of the beast. That's how it's so easy for people on these devil platforms to tell you to go out and get tested, to tell you to accept the vaccine, to tell you that the coronavirus is of Yah's plague. That coronavirus, do y'all not see how messy that is? Oh, I forgot. You can't see it if you're not spirit and truth. But let me say it to you all. That coronavirus is so much, how would I say it? Out of order mess when I see it. I don't see it like you all see it. Y'all don't come in no mess. He come in order. When he went to Pharaoh, he told Aaron and Moses, go tell him this. And I tell you what, when you go tell him, I harden his heart, so he still won't listen to you. You see the order of the Father? And when he got ready for Pharaoh to let go, he said, now go tell him this. At that time, I'll let him let the people go. See, y'all was, and right today, you would never, ever hear a so-called Hebrew Israelite teach you. It never been about Pharaoh. It was never about Pharaoh. It never been about Noah and the arks. It has always been about a people. He wanted to show his love, his power, his authority. And still yet in the year 2020, men on this devil platform and women are chasing idols. Their favorite idols is Hebrew Israelites. Men on these devil platform. That's my idol. Because you're worshiping him. You're giving him the glory. You're giving him the praise. You're giving him the likes. You're giving him the subscriber. And you just glorifying everything he says without even understand this thing is spirit. So let's go back to Genesis as he's spoken to me. He went on to tell me about how when he spoke an existent in him, what he was about to create, he spoke it in his power of his might, what he wanted it to be. And he never said man. He said them. So I goes and I say, okay, Father, them could have been more men and all the men. He said, Deborah, you can't go there with that. You can't go there. Go back. Let's take you back. So he had to take me back too. I said, but see, you see how manipulated we can be so manipulated by these Hebrew Israelite teaching and these men to where we loses who we are. But because of the Ruach HaKodesh, it has been an excellent teacher to me. And I hope he said I'm an okay student. Just a okay. I don't have to be a good one. Just let me be okay. Okay. But the Father was telling me the purpose of me speaking it, that which was already in me, was to keep man's hands, minds, control, manipulation, deceiving mindsets, flesh off of it. He had to say it. Now, have they walked in therein? No, because even year 2020, they have separated them, in which he said, from him, and has made it him and not them. Now, what them came from? Them came from the beginning. Remember, he was telling them, Yeshua was telling them, have you not read? I don't give what Moses said. He told you that because you are evil. When your heart is hardened, that means you're evil. But I'm talking about something in the beginning. Exactly where the Most High was taking me. From the beginning, Deborah, what they doing now was not so. So you heard GOCC. To me, therefore out. They're going to. The reason why I'm standing on them is because their leader is going too far out in the deep with this male and female thing. He has lost his way in spirit and in truth. And I feel sad for him. I really do. Because I don't feel sad for him per se. I feel sad for the souls that be on there eating that mess up. It's not important to the Most High for you to take this book and precept it to death, line it and little here. It's not important to him that you can go get all your other books that you said was taken to make you understand this. It doesn't mean anything to the Most High because you can read it in Hebrew. What means to him is when you know who I am in your spirit. And when you know who I am in your spirit, you know who my son, which is my right hand power, is. And I have now given you my spirit. All of this, do you know the whole world, even those that have stolen the identity of another nation, has mastered this in reading it and understanding it? That's why they can debate with the Hebrew Israelites. It's because they have mastered this. But you know what? I have not found one Hebrew Israelite man to come up on a rabbi or Israel over in Israel. Not one. They can come and, toe to toe. You know why? Because Yah ain't son nobody yet. And if he did, he would gear him up, his learn, and get him ready to stand on the mountaintop and proclaim spirit and truth. But you can't get there without the power of the Most High Yah. And we have also, the Hebrew Israelite movement has taken the power of Father's right hand and destroyed it and given it to themselves. That's why people get on here searching and wanting their flesh. And I can't get past it because when he went on and told me that the mark of the beast has already been placed, they missed it long ago. And see, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. And what's going to make the reason why it's going to get to where in the end days, which we are in, where the children, the father against the son, the brothers against brothers, that's already taking place. While you all are still running around here talking about we the Hebrew Israelite. You done missed spirit and truth. Spirit and truth is coming to tell you the truth of the matter of what is, what was, and what shall be before you, and what shall come after. We don't want that. We want the messages out of the mouth of these that's here to deceive you. When he took me to Genesis, he was pouring out to me the reason why it's important that if you lose Genesis, you have lost the middle and the beginning. That's why I would advise each and every last one of you all to start in Genesis 1 until you complete the whole Genesis. Highlight Yah in purple or blue. Highlight what says Yah said, Yah said, Yah said. Not what Moses said, Abraham said, or Adam said. What Yah said. Once you're done, go back through that Genesis and hear Yah speak to your spirit. And then you'll become a new creature. Old things will surely have to pass. Because now the voice of the Most High Yah has spoken to your spirit. He can't speak to your spirit when you're taking every verse and making it power over his voice. You can't do it. So when he went on to show me that, he was showing me I never intend for he. But what he was showing me how they did it. He said, just because I told he should rule, because he didn't understand he was already given the authority to rule because he was the first, and I created everything for him to rule over. Everything. And he messed all that up by the not abiding by my one commandment. And what he was explaining to me, at that moment when she was created, he was already head. He was already ruler. See? They don't get that. So he's saying that when he said, and your husband shall rule, he said that's the part they have locked in to the year 2020 and have taken women and made them cattle. They sell them. They use them as sexual tools and toys. They use them as property, just as the slave, the oppressor, did unto them when they stepped on this land and on them ships. Was the same way the Most High shared with me that the men in Genesis and on had done to their wives, their daughters. That's why it was easy for, let me say that example, and this is how he teaches me. That's why it was easy for Abraham to go into that land and say that Sarah was his sister and not be honest that she was his wife, because he wanted something. This man was finna lay down with his wife. It didn't matter to Abraham. Here, take her. We are as cattle. You see? We are as slave toys and idols in the mind of man, without man realizing we too are in his image. He did not create man in his image. He created them in the image and in the likeness of him. But if you ask someone today, the way they teaching you, so far out in the deep sea, people are drowning by great numbers. How do you know that, Deborah? Because Yah wanted us to know that there is right now it being a great falling away. Falling away from what? What Genesis was talking about from the beginning. They've been fell away from Yah. They fell away from Yah before they came on them slave ships. Why you say that, Deborah? Because if they came on these slave ships and they was put in a situation in captivity like no other, that was the time you call on Almighty Yah. But did they do that? Nope. When they got over here and got beaten and raped and molested and stripped from their integrity, did they call on Yah? No. because they were still that stiff-necked, rebellion, nasty people. He knew what he did when he brought them over here. He was giving them a taste of their own action, because that's how they treated women. And what is going on, how you know, look what condition this world is in today. Look what condition. No one even sees it. They don't even understand the birth stage in which this world is in. They so busy living, waiting for a stimulus check, an unemployment check, waiting for the next message to come on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, and Patriot, as if the devil don't own them all. And if it ain't talking about glorifying and magnifying the Most High Yah, giving all praises to the Most High Yah, or giving you the ideal of the power of his might, the power of his authority, his spiritual realm, who he is, they are a liar and a deceiver, and the truth shall never be found in them, except y'all convert. Oh, y'all can do any and all things. And I know that he can. So when he was sharing with me in Genesis, he was also telling me about, I know I'm all over the place, but I really wasn't planning on, but it was almost like he was overwhelmed in me, telling me, get this here done. And I wanted to come here and just, because I was getting ready to go out the door. So I thank the Most High for being over this vessel. Okay. But he was explaining to me, they took everything that he created in the order in which he created, and they made it what it looked like today. And then they can get on here and teach you as if it's a newfound religion. It's a new awakening thing. It's a new religion. It's a new field. It's a new, come to new knowledge. Hey. Yeshua HaMashiach came before you got on them ships. So what was he? Greater in us. So what happened? They got on a ship and didn't have him? What happened? See, no, they don't want to talk about truth. They don't want to talk about pedophiles. I sat the other day and watched GOCC. And the reason why I watch them maybe once every week, I say once every week, I can give them that. And I don't listen to the whole thing. Watch those three men marvel off of a pedophile. This little girl talk about pedophile. I said, see, Father, this is what you're saying. Their mind is so polluted that they can sit and entertain it and then give their audience something that they already know about. GEOC don't, and many of these men don't understand pedophiles started in our own homes. I was just telling my ex-husband about how my mother wouldn't have never tolerate that. No, I thank you, Most High Yah. I thank you for the shield of protection by giving me a mother and a father that raised us and disciplined us and brought us up without allowing all this stuff that people continue to tell me since I was a little girl that was in their own household. This pedophile didn't start with no Illuminati or the elites. Stop the line, you guys. Stop the line, you black Negro men. This stuff been going on way before you came over here in the slave ship in the eyes of the Most High Yah. Stop that line. When you were taking little girls, even when Noah had to, he said, hey, wait a minute. I'm not going to strive with man. Why? Because it was going on. When the daughter was born, the men were taking them. And stop trying to blame it on everything outside of you, your forefathers. Because they refuse to go back and clear it up of their forefathers so they can open their eyes today. Y'all let them go. They don't even understand. The reason why I know he let a 99.9 go is because I see such beyond a great falling away. I see a demonic spirit on men that they hate the only one that has held them up, that birthed them, that brought them to their breast. Because what? Their own fathers, grandfathers, brothers, and uncles turned them away. So it left them with who to take care of them? That woman, which is the same one they've been bashing for the last 20, 30 years. And it's sad. It's sad. That's why the Most High have got everything locked in the way he wanted. And when he was showing me in Genesis, I'm going to show you something else he was showing me. He was showing me something that's just so beautiful to me, because it brings that comfort to me to know that you ain't been, when you off a track, I'm on your track. That's how he does with me. Get off a track. I'm going to be on your track. And when he on your track, you ain't going to sleep. You're going to feel like, the world got to end right now. The way Yah disciplined us that is in him is so awesome. But he disciplined us to bring correction in us. And I thank him. But he also comforted us with revealing to us correction and comforting us that if you're on the right path, I'm going to add on to your path. So you'll see that you ain't never been wrong, no matter if the broad gate is broad, don't keep looking over to the other side. Stay on that narrow path. Because I'm going to comfort you right there. And as he was dealing with me in Genesis, he was showing me how all this stuff that they have taken and made it a lie, everything that I've said. He took me to the Genesis, the beginning, just when he was saying them. He says, you see how they did that? Now, how did them end up being, woman, shut your mouth and just you? Because men have been in here manipulating this book so it can only represent them, and has successfully done it. Why? He said in the beginning they did a lot of sin. A lot. That's how he ended up ending it with Noah. Because see, no one, the Hebrew Israelites not going to touch that. Because they want to make you think it was about something else. They'll teach all around it. But we'll not find spirit and truth in it. Because they have to be able to understand the spiritual contents of why he ended. What was on the mind of Yah. And you can only get that through the Ruach HaKodesh. That's it. And if you ain't full of that, you are lost without a cause of trying to get the fullness of where he was during that time period. Oh man, to swing it here, they swing it there. The Catholics swing it here. The Jews swing it. The fake Jews swing it here. The Hebrew Israelites swing it here. And it's all about them. And it ain't nothing been all about them. This is about salvation. This is about deliverance. This is about bringing the kingdom of heavens. Let us recognize how the kingdom of heavens is at hand. The gospel must be preached. And it has not. That's why he was telling you about all the things that's going to happen. But until the gospel. And don't you think the gospel, wait a minute, what is the gospel? It's spirit and truth, you guys. The gospel is not what they precepting you in. The gospel is not what all these books consist of. Because none of these books that they usher in bring you salvation. Bring you deliverance. Bring you peace. Bring you comforter. Be your teacher. No, it can't be your teacher. Because see, your teacher is here to reveal things to you. And not some things, all things. That means it don't have to reveal what's in here. It's going to reveal your everyday walk. If you're found in him and he in you. It's going to show you things to come. Bring things to your remembrance when you forget when you was 10 too. Bring it to your remembrance so it can educate you back to where you need to be. Or get you where you need to be going on your journey. I found this here at a thrift store and I thought it was really neat. Because, look at this, isn't it? I thought that was really neat. Because this here is the way I see the people in the world today. It's like a life journey. You better enjoy it. You know why? That life that he has given you don't belong to you. It's just his breath. But he did give you a light. And you ignore it 24/24. Here it is, you 85 years old and still can't discern your light. It's your spirit. He wants your spirit, man. He don't care if you wants to keep buckling up to man. You'll never make your destiny until you abide in him and he abide in you. Get with him so he can level you off in peace and enjoy and in understanding. As I was in Genesis, and I'm going to cut off here. As I was in Genesis, he took me to another part that bothers me. I sit back and think about how the iron, first they was on the iron claw about the law and the commandments. And they were using the law and the commandments as an iron claw, which is not of Yah, which is evil and demonic. So, when he was dealing with me about Genesis, he scooped me over a little bit in the area of where He allowed Adam to have everything. He placed everything there with Adam at the beginning. And even though he said it is not good that man be alone, he still didn't create woman then. He began to usher everything else into Adam. But then he said, but Adam was found, but he was found with no help meet. Why? Because in the beginning, he spoke it. So he needed to bring in the other part to make them so that they may fulfill him. So a lot of them wants to make it put woman was made for man and not man for woman. That's where you all keep messing up. Not messing up. These are demonic spirits teaching you. Those are out of the mouth of man. It don't even sound like something Yah would even say. That's how you have to measure things, you guys. You have to understand and hear from the Genesis and highlight purple and orange. Everything that comes out of the mouth of Yah. And then when you hear man speak, you'll know the difference between what Yah said and what man has added. You see what I'm saying? Because you have to understand. If he said bam from the beginning, how did Moses tell you it was okay? Because he knew your heart was evil. So go your way, the way you desire. Don't come to me with that. It's just like Yeshua when he said to them, I didn't come. Don't come to me with the laws. I ain't come to bother with the laws. I ain't come to bother with the prophet. I come to do what I'm here to do. It's to fulfill. I'm come to put something in somebody's lamp to fulfill it so they forevermore can be able to enter into the kingdom of heaven before Yah. He gonna already see the oil, the lamp on. No one understands that because they so busy trying to grip every verse a man is telling them on these platforms, which is still, like he said, it's okay, Deborah. It need be. But I'm gonna tell you in Genesis, you know what other part he gave me? He was telling me that the things that Adam was doing here already, all that time he was here, it wasn't when woman came that brought that choice, because he made the choice to allow woman to go near that which he said they are not to take up. So why go near that, Adam? Because you have already taken of it. Now you want her to be partaker. That's why she was standing and communing, and you were sitting right there near her because you already had taken. And that's why she said something that the Most High didn't say, because you already had lied to her. See how y'all work? You had already, Adam told her that Yah said we are not to eat nor to touch. Yah did not say that. Go back to the verses and hear what comes out of the mouth of Yah. He never told him to touch, because the touch does not bring anything enter in. But to eat and to hear, it takes it in. Get somewhere in you, into your spirit. But to touch it, it can't get to your spirit. So where did that come from? Adam had lied to Eve already. See, you all don't understand this word, because you have to walk in it, spirit and truth. When he teach you this word, you don't ever do away with the King James. Okay? You don't have to be all in all these books and all these No, you don't even have to go there. Why? Ask Sister Deborah why. Why is it you don't have to be all over the world and getting all books? Because you should see it. Ever learning, never coming to the knowledge. What did it mean? Deborah, they're going to be learning, book. Here, precept, here, line, there. Never coming to the knowledge. Why? Because the only one that's going to bring you to that level is the Ruach HaKodesh. That's his mission. That's why Yeshua came. I'm telling you, it came so that you may have what you need in your lamp, which is your spirit. That all of Yah's spirit. And without that, yeah, you're going to chase books. And you're going to continue. Now, where we at in life It is no reason for not one Negro to be on these platforms. Not one of these platforms talking about a woman. Negative. What she should do. What she should wear. How she should look. How she should walk. Not one Negro man need to be doing that. Not no Negro woman. Too much is going on. It takes away from what is actually going on. It's a form of triggering your spirit in other directions outside of Yah. Oh, they use the book. They precept. They talk about all the Enoch and everything else. But what is Enoch going to do for your salvation? For your deliverance? Can he redeem you? What could all these do? But add on. Ever learning, never coming to the knowledge that this thing is spirit and it is true. Now, I'm going to give you another one he gave me. He also gave me naked. He gave me naked. He said, Deborah, they screwed that all up. And they did. Because I'm going to be honest. When I was young, when he said I put, and they were naked, I said, what you do that for? Why? Because the mindset in the world, naked. That right there will trigger a man to lust, to do everything he can possibly do. But y'all told me this today. And he told me the end too. But he gave me something to help me. He said, Deborah, they took that nakedness and they misunderstood. They tried to swing that spiritual. He said they couldn't swing that spiritual. That naked wasn't without sin. That naked has no connection to being without sin. That naked showed you the beauty of nudity of his creation. That he created man was his intent. To never look at our bodies and make it a God. Put it above and beyond. Never look at our body and try to make the things that's on our body a representation of him. You see people making chains and necklace, and he even got in the Bible telling you no wood, nothing covered with silver and gold. Because it can't speak. You can't hear it. So why are you wrapping yourself with it? It's idling worship in its highest form for these days. Really to separate the wheat from the tare. It really is. It's really letting you see the seeds and where they were thrown. And who's going to rise up and sprout up out of those seeds. But he was telling me about naked. And he said, when he said, and they were not ashamed. Why should they be ashamed of being naked if they was created naked? Why should shame be in there? A shame would be a fleshly mindset. Why? Because a shame would come along once man feel and woman there, she got this and he don't. He got this and she don't. And they standing there with different things, and they're not ashamed of their bodies. Their outer man. They're not ashamed of it. They don't see no difference in it. They're not lusting after. They're not saying you ain't got on a fringes, or you ain't got your head around. Think you guys, the Most High put you in there naked. And it ain't about now naked talking about sinless. Sinless ain't never been ashamed. So why would if they was already sinless, why should they have been ashamed? But he was saying ashamed because the shame is connected to the flesh. He wanted you to give you an upper hand that he knew what the next stage was going to be. Giving you the upper hand of his power in what he does and how it's being done. So I sit there and I'm sitting here seeing he's talking to me. This is the day about naked. He said, now see, I put them on clothes I made to cover them up. And it wasn't because that they were sinless at the beginning and they were not ashamed. That has no, being sinless had nothing to do with being not ashamed. The ashamed came when you see a man and a woman standing there and they see that their bodies is totally different and they didn't have no beef with it. They didn't have no lust for it. They didn't have no admiring for it. They didn't have none of that. That's how it is today. That's how demonic all this stuff is that people are setting up. They did it way back in Genesis all the way to now, trying to bring in a newfound religion that's going to make you look like you're supposed to be, walk like you're supposed to be, act like you're supposed to be, think like you're supposed to be, all on the outer man. So y'all wasn't worried about the outer man appearance, nor were they. They wasn't worried about it. They wasn't concerned about it. That's the mind of Yah. That's where we as people of the Most High Yah have to have. Stop looking at everything that everybody is wearing and talking and walking and fringes. Wrap that lady head up. Wrap yourself up, man. When you're all talking, you're talking that which is fleshly. Nothing you worship on the outside will worship Yah in the inside. Because if we focus on the outside, then we miss Yah that rests on the inside. Because we're so busy hearing man tell us, this is what you do. Well, wait a minute. Hold up. Let's go to the beginning. What was he talking about? You see? If he said he wanted you to be naked and not be ashamed, he wanted you to know that your body was never created. Your outer man was never created to be ashamed and show no difference and show no lust. But because of where we at today, and we say it's about Adam and Eve. No. It's about that man who had sinned before Eve was even created. God gave him that umpteen time. Because at first he said, it is not good that man should be alone. Then he dropped down and gave man cattle and everything for him name. Then he turned around, but now a helpmate wasn't found. Wait a minute, why did you give him all of that after in Genesis you said then? Because he know where this thing started. And you never knew. Because you're so busy listening to the voice of man and not the voice of Yah. So, even in the midst of that nakedness that they were in, Yah is sending a message to me, Deborah. See all this stuff that everybody's caught in, trying to tell a person what they should eat, look, act, talk, walk, all to the flesh. I've given you a dietary law, and it was still for the flesh. It still don't connect to the spirit. It had to do with the flesh. And that's why we must uphold it. Because he knows what's good for us. And anything outside, that has to do with what he has given us, that deals with us while we're on this earth, we need to abide by that and uphold it. But we don't need to whoop people with it as if we're giving them something new. No. This thing ain't gonna never be new. This thing was, is, and shall be. So while we thinking we bringing in a new religion called awakening and newfound Hebrew Israelite movement, you go right ahead. While the world is sitting here finna mess you up from the floor up because you have already accepted the mark of the beast and have not received the message from the Most High Yah's prophets. And because of that, he says, leave it alone, Deborah. It need be. Notice that everything that his son Aaron and Moses to tell Pharaoh, the people of Israel, it never fazed them. But that's who the purpose of hardening Pharaoh's heart, so that the people would praise Yah. But does it say that they really? They did for a moment. So you all don't understand. Y'all been dealing with this thing for a long time. And you think he's going to bring you into New Jerusalem and give you the authority over the Gentiles? Come on now. And you sitting here calling your women bitches and hoes. You sitting here trying to get them in the same captivity your forefathers got them in. And you got to realize that the forefathers' sin is bigger and worse than you can even imagine. It is bigger and worse than the Gentiles sinning against us. It is bigger and worse than what the Gentiles have sinned against us. Because what the Gentiles have done to us, we have done to our people. And that's why he had to bring you to a land like unto your own heart and let you get a taste before this thing is over. You see, and no, they won't catch that because they never real understand. They grip the religion and let it fall under Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the seed carriers. But Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they call them their bloodline. We the children. But guess what? They were never stiff-necked, disobedient, and rebellion. Think about that. So who children are you? You better wake up. So I say unto you, a lot of things that we're understanding, we are not understanding in the spiritual realm. So I, Sister Deborah, is going to hope that this here helps someone. And I will say, see you this Sabbath. Shalom and shalom.